Kia ora talofa, welcome to Coco Sports Talk with Ninz and
Ash. I'm back from COVID, feeling better. I really enjoyed the last episode with the Momoisia sisters hosting Coco Sports Talk. We want more! Fight night, fight night. We travelled to Whangarei to talk to Liz Patu, who is the most capped Wallaroos player. She is actually born in New Zealand, raised in Samoa, and then moved to Australia with her family. So let's check out to see what she had to say.
Talofa lava, my name is Liz Patu. I come from Queensland, Australia, and I play for the Wallaroos as well as Queensland Reds. It was something that I never thought I was going to achieve, you know, especially being born in New Zealand, raised in Samoa, and then moved in to Australia. Being the only Samoan to reach the most capped in, you know, Australia, I had no words for it, especially going through the trials and tribulations that I have had to go through as well. And you know, 6 years ago, I was suspended for 6 weeks, you know, for the biting incident. And, you know, through that, that's just, and then to keep going with the Wallaroos and reaching my highest cap, that for me is, yeah, something that I know that I can still, you know, that I will cherish for life. And especially being a Samoan in, you know, an Australian team, and to reach that is a massive, massive achievement for myself and my family as well. When I saw that, especially when it went out on social media, I saw that, I was like, you know, our people, the Pacific Islanders, we're not just representing Samoans, we're actually representing the Pacific Islander people. So having and seeing that there was 5, you know, it's a massive achievement that our people can go through, or even Pacific Islanders can go through. The growth that I've seen, especially for Rugby Australia, is that they, you know, it's a slow process. It's a slow process, and we're not going to always have everything all at once. Being away as well is going to be tough because we are women, and you know, we have families that we need to look after. That's what we do as women. We have families, we have, you know, things that we need to do, we need to work as well. Like majority of the girls in the team don't get paid for it, but you know, over the years we have seen Rugby Australia start paying our girls, which is a good thing for me. Mine was, pain is only temporary. So the pain that you go through on the field, you know, it's only temporary. So if you just keep pushing through, keep going, and you can also achieve what you wanted to achieve. And for me, that's kept me going.
And did you know, she is just one of the many Pasifika players in the Australian women's team, the Wallaroos. And shout out to Adiana Talakai Ivania Wong and Sarah Naingama, and a few others who all represent the Pacific in Australia. And they'll be coming up in a fresh episode coming up soon. So this time around, we get to share some of the Pasifika players that were in the USA and Australia rugby teams for the Pac4 Series, which was really cool. In the Pac4 Series, there was New Zealand, Canada, USA and Australia. So we mostly got to hang out with the US and Australia girls, who were super accommodating. Thank you so much, guys.
We appreciate it.
I think it's important because, you know, we're not just going to the World Cup just to be in the World Cup. We're going there to really perform and put on a show for people and really perform for our country. You know, Pac4 is a really good place for us to dust off the cobwebs. You know, the Wallaroos, after COVID, especially, a lot of teams haven't had a lot of test matches. So, you know, coming together and, you know, playing for our country in the Pac4 is pretty good.
It was pretty special to be named and starting to play against the Black Ferns. Like, I feel like if you want to test yourself to see where you're really at, they're one of the teams you want to play. So yeah, it was pretty special to go out there. Unfortunately, we didn't get the results we wanted, but yeah, still walked off happy. walked off happy.
One game over.
Yeah. I feel like every game it's a win. Like you have to look at it as you have to win that game. You can't pick one team. I think the competition's really tough this year, especially for us all haven't been playing rugby. I think everyone's going to be hungry, so there's no easy teams in this competition. Every team is a hard team.
Yeah, one of the teams maybe to look at is probably England, always in form, or you know, they've got like a really good program up there and they really blitz it up through the Six Nations and things like that. So, you know, need to get there. But yeah, other than that, first things first, team in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh, low horsey.
I don't know what that means.
No. Next please. Lucipi. So it's like, you know, like the spinach thing, and it's got like beef in it, and it's like in a like foil thing. It's like wrapped in like spinach kind of thing. That or horse.
I'll go with the first one.
She likes horse too.
No!
But did you also know there are some Pasifika players in the US women's rugby team?
USA.
Let's get to know some of them now.
I think it's going good. Yeah. I think this is like our, this is our first like formal competition this year. Yeah. So it's good to like get everybody together on the same page with everything what we're trying to achieve, and then we're just getting off to a good start here.
The Rugby World Cup, France.
Yeah.
I think there are some. It's going to be some good competition. I think just with the development of women's rugby over the past couple of years, I feel like it's exploded. So I think we got our hands full, all of us.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think the team to beat here, like, okay, we'll take it one game at a time. Yeah, we'll go Australia first, but I think the Black Ferns, honestly.
Yeah.
Just to see how far we've all come as a team, and them also, because we haven't faced them since the Super Series back in 2018, I think. And like they have a lot of new caps coming into this cycle too, and like we're like kind of on the same wavelength too. So I'm just interested to see how we'll go up against them.
Actually, lots of carbs, like pasta and bread.
Yeah, rice, fish.
Yeah, always chicken and rice. Always chicken and rice. Exciting.
Favorite island food?
It's got to be palusami. Got to be
Sapasui.
Any fish, honestly.
I feel like, because my mom is white, and we grew up in Idaho, which is like very, just like potato farms. And so it's just like, until I started playing rugby, I didn't realize that like Polynesians have like a style, you know? Because then it's like, once you walk off the rugby pitch, it's like, oh yeah, I could tell you were like Tongan, or like, you know, I can tell you're Polynesian by the way you play, but I never realized that until I started playing, I guess.
I think when you get into the flow of the game, like your natural style comes out, you know, you like step offload, or like if you truck people, like it's gonna come out, you know?
Yeah.
Once you get into a good flow in the match, like your true style comes out. I feel like that can be said about all of us, you know? Yeah.
That was so cool to meet three of them. So there's Bulo, Hallie, and Bridget. And Bridget's actually Hawaiian, and she also coaches rugby. But I wonder actually how many other Pasifika players there are representing other nations in the Rugby World Cup this year.
So we're focused on rugby for this episode, and we'll have more on the Fijiana women's rugby team because they are the only Pacific team to have qualified for the Rugby World Cup. And it'll be their debut. They've never played in the Rugby World Cup before, which is like so cool for them.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, the week that the opening on October the 8th is also part of their Independence Day.
Yes.
And maybe their language week as well. So please get behind the Fijiana and all our Pasifika players in the other nations. You know what to do. Like and subscribe. Let us know if you have any comments. Maybe especially if you've got any family representing any of the other rugby nations, the upcoming Rugby World Cup. Like and subscribe.